what can I say to make you stay away? And told him I'm not leaving, cause you know I'm here to stay. I'll take your soul if you please. Father of sins, God you see. Do that! I'll take your soul if you please. Father of sins.
Every Sunday, 6 p.m. We pull up, lock in. Black Nerd Podcast on the screen. JS1, the supplier, that's the team. Fame in the cut, sharp and clean. Jalen and Sloan, full power beam. Science talks and comic book heat. Movies, TV, games on repeat. Anime world and tabletop fate. Black perspective, we elevate. If you know, then you know. We bring it live, we bring it home. 4 voices, 1 lane. Say the name, say the name. Standing on her business. Yo, standing on her business. Nerds run the world. Nerds run the world. Yeah, standing on her business. Standing on her business. Every Sunday, 6 p.m. Black Nerd Podcast. Let it begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back in the building. It is Sunday, 6:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your boy, JS1 Supply. We are here. I've got I would like it to be known that it is Mother's Day, and we have our queen in the building. We got to start with Jalen because it's Mother's Day. Let's go. What's up? What's up? Yeah. So
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Yeah, for sure. Did you go out to dinner for Mother's Day, or did they cook for you? How did you
went and got one of my favorite foods, which is tacos.
Okay.
All right.
Mother's Day tacos. That's wild.
Mother's Day tacos and Mother's Day tequila.
And Mother's
on the
Day
toilet later.
That is a fact. Tequilas and tacos will keep you on the toilet. I tell you that right now. Oh man, Sloan, what you do for your mom for Mother's Day, man?
Oh, yesterday was. I mean, we just stayed in the house. We didn't do nothing.
Okay, yeah, to be young again and not have no responsibility to do nothing for your mom. That's what's up, yo. That don't last once you hit 20. They go like, you got some money, you better figure it out. Like my mother would kill me if I ain't have a card or spend some money somewhere, bro. All right, we got Fame in the building. He's mom and dad out here. Like, shout out to you. Happy Mother's Day, Fame. How you feeling?
My daughter's with her mom right now. All of the girls are having a great time celebrating their mom. I made sure that they got the chance to take care of their mom and celebrate her the way she deserved to be taken care of as a lady that did give birth. And it was a beautiful thing. Now, I went with my family. We all went to go see my grandmother's grave. We all got to just sit around each other and have a good time today. Right before I came on air, the sky cracked open. It was raining. I was going to cancel and say, all right, forget this. I can't do it. I'll be crying sometime. But then I remember Salome put this whole entire show together, and I can't miss this. I can't miss this. I gotta be to support it. So.
Nah,
what you do for your mom? For our mom, what you do?
Well, it's a 2-day thing. So we took out to dinner last night, paid for that, and then out the Longhorns. Got a steak and some black. She got a loaded baked potato and salad and drinks and all that, wine. Gotta do that. And then today we took her to see The Devil Wears Prada 2. Huh? And she got chicken fingers.
What was the name of that assistant in Devil Wears Prada 2?
That is a good question. She was fine as all get out too. Cannot remember. But shout out to all of the moms, everybody out there, nerdy moms, straight moms, tall moms, short moms. If you're a mom, shout out to you. We love you.
Lucha Libre moms.
Lucha Libre moms, you know what I'm saying? Serial killer moms. Serial killer moms got it the worst, boy. They still gotta love them after they find out they done had somebody head in her refrigerator. That's wild. So anyway, staying focused on the show today. Sloan, can you introduce our wonderful guests to the show and tell us what the show is about?
So today's episode is very comic book centered, and basically we're going to discuss comic books and is it important that they take themselves less seriously and just learn to have fun. And well, I got some people from the industry to help me talk about it, and it is Resolve Comics. Our boy, the creator of not Resolve Comics, he created Super Dangerous, and our boy if I pronounce his name correctly, Vashmir, he created one of my favorite indie comics, Pepper Piper Monster Hunter, and Saturday AM's Wyatt manga.
All right, let me bring them all out. Hello.
Welcome.
How you gentlemen doing?
Good. Great to
Man, that's
be
what's up. Man, hey, I appreciate y'all making time on Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? I know all of y'all, had to do stuff for your moms, but I appreciate y'all, moving the schedule around and fitting us in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us on.
All right. So the first thing we always do while we on the show is we supposed to be talking about promoting, because that's what we got to do, because we all broke black people, so we got to promote the stuff to where we make money. So make sure if you haven't done so, sign up on our patreon.com/VVC Life, so that way you can not only support us, but you can get some great content. You might get a sneak peek of the new album that we dropping on May the 31st. You might get a sneak peek. You don't know. You might be able to get you some magazines, some mixtapes. You'll be able to get tons of articles and all these wonderful things right behind the paywall on our Patreon. And then every week we do a bonus episode on Thursday. We also do anime watches. Fame does an anime watch where you can watch anime with him and have a great conversation, plus a ton of other great content. So make sure you do that. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the podcast, the audio, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your audio from, you can subscribe to the Black Nerd Podcast. What else is there? We ain't talked about a Pat Cron in a million years. And then, of course, Scarathon is that. Make sure, boom, we are on tour. We will be at DreamCon July 10th through the 12th. You know what I'm saying? That is coming up. I have I'm still trying to decide whether I want to do an Airbnb or a hotel, but we going down there and we turn it up. That means you can come hang out with us. We can hang out with you. We are open to do collabs. We definitely want to do interviews. We are definitely going to get drunk, and we are going to meet the people and have a phenomenal time. So make sure y'all get y'all tickets. Y'all come hang out. We're going to be doing Atlantic Con. They've changed their date. However, I'm still going to try to make it if I can. J1 Con, Baltimore Comic Con, New York Comic Con, and probably one or two more are going to be added because I've been in discussion with a couple of companies. So go to blacknerdpodcast.com right now and keep getting involved. Make sure you're involved. Last but certainly not least, go to vvcmerch.com right now. Grab you some merch. You know what I'm saying? We used to have this shirt. Now it's gone. You got to stay up to date. Make sure you tap in every month. We're going to be bringing in merch, and we're going to be letting go of merch. So if you want something, you better grab it while you can. Rotating merch, man. Rotating merch. All right. So let's get to our first segment, man, because we don't want these guys just sitting here looking pretty. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to you know what I'm saying? Let's get to our first segment. All right. So our Precious is a segment where we, you know what I'm saying, put stuff on the screen that we think is fire, that we suggest that y'all buy, stuff that we already bought or about to buy. Fame, it looked like you got a package in the mail, man. You've been gloating a little too hard because you got some comics. So give me some details. Tell me what's up.
You will start with me as I reply to people in our messages. But yes. I've been getting a bunch of packages in the mail because I love supporting and seeing other creators work, because me locked in a lab all day creating all of this glorious stuff, it's just not as fun when I know the rest of the world is out there creating as well. So behind me on the shelf is Bear and Bullets. And I just got two more in that I got to send one out to Salone because, brother, you have to read this. And I got one for you, Jay, as well. But I believe it's page 6 comics. I believe I'm saying that right. I wanted to have everything pulled up, but Mother's Day caught me off guard. Of course, Molly, Musa line of Molly is up on the shelf. New Game Plus is up on the shelf. I got, what is it? Pen? This one right here, it's a black and white joint pinpoint that I got to dump through the other day. Bro, when I tell you, this guy Paige is really good at telling stories. Man, I can't wait to dive into this. I got another one he just sent me, and he just told me that he got a Kickstarter that's on the way. I don't have the link with me right now, but I will make sure it's in our comments by the end of tonight.
All right.
Okay. All right, so let me just open the joint on her. It's not as cool as his because he all like helping people and you know what I'm saying. That's real nice that you want to help people. But I'm a selfish person, so like I just want to get me a Doom mask. That's it, bro. It's about to
somebody else created it, so you helping them. Hopefully it ain't Amazon.
I mean, maybe either that or Marvel, one or the other. So we all know the Doom is coming. Doomsday is almost upon us. And if Sloan's gonna go out dressed like a green guy with a metal face, I'm saying let me do the same. I mean, let's go.
What about the jersey? All I need is the mask.
Hey.
For sure. All right, let's see what's next. It's about time, bro. It's about time. All right, it's on you, big dog. Sloan, tell us about this.
Oh, so Hasbro decided to empty out the bank accounts of all the nerds and make Bluetooth headphones that also doubles as Cyclops. Like, I saw this before the pre-orders came up, and I forgot to tell my friends that it dropped like 2 days ago or so, or a little bit. I forgot to just bring this up because if I'm gonna be broke, y'all gonna be broke too.
I didn't even know that they were really gonna drop these.
Clearly, $80,
and that's not bad.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not bad at all. Wait a minute,
yes,
what day
is bad?
Is it?
What's wrong with y'all?
I mean, how expensive are Beats? How expensive are AirPods?
That's a fact.
And they don't look nearly as.
Are we talking about sound quality? Tested sound quality? We don't even know what they. We don't even know what they are yet.
Because you're buying it for quality. Come on now, stop it. All right, let's move on.
I'm getting them.
Okay, so I was feeling very nostalgic, and I just wanted to have my favorite comic in hardback version. So here it is, and it's not just the Killing Joke; it's other stories too. So
nice.
What's all in there? It's only got that.
No,
man, I seen the Killing Joke inside of Five Below. Now I got a nice copy that I never touched.
But this is only the hardcover is only $12.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's fire. All right. That's what's up. That is definitely what's up. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, I want to go around. So I'm gonna start with Mr. Vashmir. Can you tell us about what inspired you to become a writer, and what inspired your first comic?
Oh man! So what inspired me was probably my love for fantasy and seeing just how well fantasy helped me to grow as a person. Seeing life in a different view than most people did. My mom was against anything violent growing up, so she always would throw fantasy on before she would throw anything else on. So we kind of just grew up with that in our lives. So that was like my first idea when I decided to move into writing and become a writer, was to do something with fantasy so that it could do for someone else what it did for me.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Adam?
I'd say, it was probably like the perfect combination of like ADD and like overactive imagination and like binging, anime series. And yeah, I just had a ton of concepts in my head, and one day it kind of just clicked. Like, okay, let me write a comic book. You know what I mean?
Yo, that's fire. And you, sir, Mr. WM. And you're muted.
It's a similar thing, just like everybody else here. Kind of a fan of the medium, whether it be Western comics or East Asian comics. And as you grow, you kind of have to, you kind of have ideas of your own that you want to kind of explore and create. So I've always been in love with storytelling in all of its forms. Whether it be animation, comics, video games, movies, all of that. And eventually, you know, you just have that urge to create your own and, you know, see it through. And that's what has led me here. And that's like the shortest way to put it. And, you know, I'm sure that's why most of us are here. And that's kind of what spearheaded us to that point. And then as I created, you know, and you grow as a person, you also kind of put yourself a little bit more in your work, and you see things in generally life that fuel you into different directions. And so now with Saturday AM, we try to create content that allows people to see themselves in their heroes, with the worlds, the characters, and all of that. You know, been having fun doing that for a couple years now.
Okay, got it. All right, so it's time, man. We got to get to the main topic, yo. So y'all don't go nowhere.
Turn it up, it's locking. Got the crew, got the hot takes dropping. Black Nerf fam in the chat, we talking. Every word got the whole room rocking. Yeah. This is the main topic. Lean in, we just pop it. Laugh out, can't stop it. Live on the Black Nerd Podcast. This is the main topic. Say it once, can't drop it. Right now, we the hottest. Live on the Black Nerd Podcast.
All right, so we are on to the main topic, which is, you know, our guests are right. Shout out to them.
This G3 picture, yo.
I had to try to make y'all look like an R&B group, so it was like, how do I?
Yeah, for real though.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. All right, so comic books, without a doubt, have become more mainstream in recent years, but recently, due to several internal and external issues, the public perception of them have somewhat gone downhill, especially the rise of Japanese comics. A lot of people state the rising success of manga over comics is due to the balance of a fun story alongside a story with depth. Certain companies have adapted to these critiques, while others have continued to do stereotypical comic. Wait a minute. Continue the stereotypical comic path. Okay. Some may feel comics are fine the way they are. Others may feel this change is needed. Do comics need to take themselves less seriously and have some fun, or does the audience need to change? That's a good question. All right. So, Sloan, did you want to take the first question?
Yeah. You could take the first question. I'm having an issue on my end. We're pulling up the document, so you can take the first question.
All right. So the first question is, for this recent era of comics, i.e., before DC, Absolute DC, pre-Ultimate Universe, do you think comics had an issue with not being fun, or are they already fun and more people need to read more comics? All right. So let's start with Mr. Vashmir. How do you feel about this topic? Do you feel like comics should just be fun, or do you feel like they should have the freedom of variety and style?
That's a good question. I mean, because I feel like you read a couple parts of that. The one thing I can say is that even going back to 80s television, there was a change where a lot of 80s television had flipped over to started, following the Japanese counterparts. And that's where we got things like Thundercats and Silverhawks and shows like that. So it was already a love that was built into us at a young age where they started realizing that there was a massive appeal for that. Voltron, right? These are like hard-hitting shows in the 80s that really took cartoons to a higher level. There was one even called Brave Star. I'm not even sure if you remember that. It's called Brave Star. He was an Indian, futuristic American Indian sheriff. It was dope, right?
I'm 47 years old, sir. I remember all of
it. No, but black don't crack. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like that they were already ripping from it. I think comics should probably stay the way they are because, if they change that dynamic, it may lose the appeal that people have because, you guys are hardcore. Like one thing I've noticed about I've been watching lately is y'all are hardcore comic readers, like hardcore. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if they change that, they're going to lose their fan base. I think it's okay for people to dip off in a manga and come back to comics. And I think they should just stay in their lane because you would be able to read the difference. The material would just read differently and you would be able to tell.
For sure. Mr. Adam.
I don't think that comics should, take themselves too seriously or they should like be all fun. I think the beauty of comics is that it's kind of open ended. Like especially as a creator, you can kind of do whatever you want. And um, I don't know. I think there should be something for everybody. Uh, yeah, that's as far as like should comics take themselves too seriously? I mean, I think you should be able to do whatever. I think comics should be able to. It should be open. You know what I mean?
Mr. WM.
A similar thing there. I do think that sometimes even some of the stuff could be a little overblown. All of the content and the types of comics you think of are really there. You might just be looking at mainstream stuff, and maybe there is a superhero fatigue thing. But again, I don't think there is. If you dig deep, there are all kinds of comics already out there, and it's not even a case of having to change. It's more of like either looking for what you want or creating it. And so it's more about expanding and adding into that. But even as is, there's probably the type of comic that would appeal to you already out there. Maybe it's not in the mainstream. And that's it. Even for Japanese comics, American comics, they're not there are some differences, especially some cultural differences, sometimes helping to dictate even how they're produced and all of that. But ultimately it's really just pictures telling a story. And so if you want to get more of that Japanese vibe, a story similar to that, I'm sure it already exists. So maybe just search. And so it's not a matter of change. At best is just expand.
Gotcha. I see. All right. Hey, Jalen. What about you?
So I think I have to agree. There's something for everybody out there. Now we have so much access to information. You can just literally get on Google and search up what you like, and you'll be able to find that. Or you can go on social media, and I'm sure there's a creator that is creating something that you like. So I think that right now in the space that we're in, I think it's a great space to be
in. Agreed. Same.
Adam WM and Bashmat did a great job of bringing that home. There's really nothing there for me to say on this piece because I think the question itself is taking itself too serious. All avenues of the lanes literally bring something new, and as WM said, if it's not there, if it's something that you're fiending for, create it yourself. About 2 years ago, I was working on a project from the movie Sunset Unlimited with Samuel and Tommy Lee, and I just started drawing a comic book with no words. I wanted to just be profound and of two old men where the picture itself was like the old school silent story where it just told the story. The reader could just, not reader, the viewer could look at the pages and tell what was happening to get you to this emotional climax. I just never put it out because I got tired of trying to draw it. But that's it. You just create the next thing that you want. It's not as deep or profound. Like we all borrow from each other, and when we feel like something missing, we create it.
Word. I think you guys articulated everything perfectly. I just want to add that we need to ignore stupid people.
Exactly. That's basically what it is.
Only stupid people be like, yo, comic books need to be happy. You're like, all right, yo, here's your oatmeal. Go sit in the corner and shut the fuck up. Like this, you have no place because literature is literature, whether it comes with beautiful, pictures or it doesn't. Like, you shouldn't try to pigeonhole. Well, because it got pictures, it needs to be happy for everybody. Like, no, bro, you can have horror, you can have political, you can have, you know what I'm saying? That's like saying that, oh man, sci-fi should only be, space stuff, or it should only be. It's like, man, Star Wars runs the gambit the same way Star Trek does, and the rest of it. There have been horror elements, there have been comedy elements in both of those IPs. So much that you can do, and I think the last 40 about 60, the last 60 years has really shown how we can expand how we define our literature and how we define our entertainment. And there is something for every age group. Yes, there are comics that are for kids. Yes. But there are also comics that are for adults. Hey, as a man, I enjoy buying stories and IPs that I enjoy. And I don't stop reading it just because now I'm older or I got more bills. That's more reason why I need a comic book. So I'm not spending money. So anyway, that's all I gotta add to this. And I appreciate everybody's added. So Sloan, have you found your way into the document yet? Or you need me to go to the next question?
I got the next question.
All right, shoot it off.
For the next question, it says it's titled as the next question reads: do you think there is a need for comics or Marvel and DC specifically to take themselves less seriously or have fun? And have you integrated that idea into your comic books?
All right, let's start backwards. Mr. WM, let's start with you first.
As we just kind of dissected, like this doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want, and that's that's what I try to do. As someone said, we're kind of influenced and inspired by a lot of the stuff that we like and stuff that's come before us, and the stuff that has resonated with us, and then we have our tweaks here and there, especially with the execution that make it our own. And that's kind of what I'm already doing. Sometimes fun doesn't make sense for a series that it's not supposed to be fun. You know what I mean? Like if it's not, if that's not what it's about, that's not the vibe, it might just be jarring. And it's all subjective. Ultimately, it depends on your style from a narrative standpoint, from a visual standpoint, to figure out what makes sense. So it's not a case of fun specifically, right? It's really open-ended. It could be whatever you want it to be. And so with my work, that's kind of the lane I want to be, and what morals and principles I want to be part of the message of my work, where you read it and that's what you get out of it. That's kind of what helps dictate and spearhead the general vibes, the general style and the approach to the creation, the characters, the action, the world, when I do want to have fun, where it makes sense to have fun. So in my series, there are pockets where that's completely appropriate. And then there's some moments where no, I want you to cry. I am murdering your favorite character. So that's the energy and the place I want you to be in. And so it just kind of depends. It doesn't have to be specifically fun or horror or whatever the case may be. So this question is very similar to the last question in many ways.
Correct. Mr. Adam, did you want to add anything?
Let me be constructive. I do look, because I don't want to start crapping on like the big two, even though I have like a penchant to do so. I need to stop. Like I definitely, let me not even say that. I prefer like more indie titles. You know what I mean?
Me too.
But nah, I mean, yeah, similar to what WM said. Like I think it can be open. I think there's room for all of it. There's room for more serious like subject matter. There's room to like have fun. So I'm not gonna say that Marvel and DC need to move out the way and make room for more indie titles. I'm gonna say that there's room for everything. I'm sure they can do whatever they need to do.
Got you, for sure. All right, Mr. Vashmir.
I'm gonna say it's all about taste and preference. I mean, you're not gonna find a writer. At least I don't think you're gonna find a writer on Marvel's team that's gonna produce the kind of comedy that you saw in Atlanta, the series, right? So, again, if you find an independent, creator that has that same kind of sense and smile, I mean, that's why we love the Boondocks, right? So it's just like taste, man. And I think that Boondocks is probably the most accurate level of comics, manga, comedy, a mixture of all just thrown in your face, political, literally everything you just ran off on. I feel like the Boondocks literally was all of that, and it canceled it. So it seems like that we do a better job of being able to do something like that than other people, and hopefully that'll be the message that Marvel gets, is that they need to give us a little bit more opportunity to do that because we do it so well.
Can I actually jump in?
Yes, sir.
Because I do want to. Vashmir brought up some the kind of spark. Like, do we feel like Marvel and DC allow their writers room to explore these things?
No,
They
especially
don't.
Marvel.
They don't.
They got
And DC.
they got a lot of freedom to explore what we tell you to explore. Like, here, you got this box. Just explore what's in this box, baby. You can get it all the way to the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna give you a lane. You can't go
Right.
too far this way. You can't go too far that way, but you can go straight.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that then.
Yeah, which I think is funny because I saw an interview with Stan Lee, and someone said that there was a point in time where he couldn't keep up with writing enough stories for the artist to be able to draw. So at some point, he told the artist, "Just draw the comic book, and I'll do the story." So literally, the artist would draw a complete story, hand it to him, and then he would fill in everything, which just kind of shows you what type of genius he was. But also, I mean, he was able to pretty much have his run of it, you know. And say what he had to say, but also the fact that he could read a story just from images, like,
Yeah,
that's insane. That's like writing a comic backwards.
Yeah, he was that
Crazy.
dude. He was him.
Yeah.
So
yes, he was.
Respect.
I thought it was more of a case where you kind of get a general outline, and there are some artists who, you know, you give them those confines, and they say screw it, and you know, the deadline is tomorrow, and so this is what we have, and they just did whatever they want. And so I think you're right about the part where, you know, someone like a Stan Lee, and it's something about like they used to call like the Marvel way or something like that, and he would just come in and fill in the words and just kind of make everything make sense however they see fit. And you know, there are many ways as to making comics. Everybody has their own approach. I'm sure mine is different from everybody else's here, and so it's not surprising. It's also not surprising that Marvel or DC have certain confines within that they give the writers or artists with regards to doing their characters, right? If that's an issue, right, it's part of what we're talking about, right? You have the freedom to go create. And some of these artists, whether they work on Marvel or DC, they usually have their own personal projects they're working on where they can do, maybe there was that one thing that they wanted to do with Spider-Man, and then not allow. It's like, you know what? I think it's a cool idea. I'm going to do it myself. And so, again, it's one of those where you search. The end-all be-all is not Marvel or DC, and I'm sure everybody here still loves Marvel and DC. But if you want to see beyond that, or things that are different from that, there's, even if you go to Image or wherever, you see Invincible, they do things that are still like different, even though, okay, it's still within that superhero lane. Everybody's finding ways to have fun, and you're 100% free to explore that.
All right, before anybody takes us off in a different direction, I want to flip this because you guys are comic company owners. You guys are all entrepreneurs. So say if you hired a JS1 to come and write stories for your comic, if you had a specific storyline that you were working on and you handed it off to me, I mean, would you be comfortable with me, like, you know, taking your story and then like going a whole different direction? I mean, like, I feel like as much as it may seem like, man, how can DC and Marvel, you know, keep their artists from doing blah, 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 blah. But like a lot of times these artists aren't, these writers, they didn't create the comics. You know, a lot of times these are third and fourth generation writers who are building off of something that has been established over 50 years. And you have a very finicky customer base that is, I like my Wolverine to be a certain way. Like if we were to do a new Wolverine comic and he came out with a pink outfit and he was like, I'm a transsexual now, like, and I'm doing this, it would be like, yo, the world would explode. Nobody would want to read that. So this is like, in the defense of these major companies, you know, they have spent a lot of time creating brands, creating artists, creating something that fans have fallen in love with. So like it becomes difficult. So individually, would you guys be open to allowing a writer to come into your company and just kind of do what they want to do? Or would you want them to kind of follow the framework that you created for your work? So Mr. WM, how would you feel?
So yeah, that's why I brought that up, because it's, you know, it kind of makes sense that they don't let just anybody just take the character and do whatever. And to be fair, extra fair, they kind of have done that to a decent degree over the years, and that's why you have all these different variations and variants and multiverse and this and that. So they do a little bit, but not too much, especially for like let's say the main stuff or the main timeline, whatever. But regarding that, I did a light novel with Stephanie Williams, who has also worked on a lot of DC stuff, Marvel stuff. And this one, even though it's mostly just text, there were some confines and there were some rules. Okay, this is like the skeleton of the story, and then she filled in the meat with her brilliant mind. And even then, there were a couple of tweaks to where you just have a discussion. So it comes back to that chemistry and just teamwork and just kind of trusting each other's skill level and just going back and forth to make something productive, creatively fun, something that works. And she had some suggestions, and I also wanted her to have fun doing it. And so there were some changes to those confines, as long as we talked about it, and that is present here. So what you're suggesting is something I've already done, and even though there is like a balance of freedom and okay, it has to be this way, especially because with this light novel, an example would be this light novel is a prequel to the volume 1, right? Mm-hmm. And so there are certain characters that it would be logical to kill them off, for example. So if you came to me and like, oh, I want to kill them off, it's impossible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so there is a balance you have to, and that's not even something that happened. I'm just giving an example. So there is a balance and a dance you have to play in order for it to work, and still make sure at the end of the day, the core thing is just as long as the end product is interesting and fun and everybody's going to have a blast reading it. That's really all that matters. So to answer your question, yes, there are confines, but it's a little bit of wiggle room and a balance.
Got you. Mr. Adam, how do you feel about it?
I think, if I ever get to the point where I can have writers come on board and for example, work on like the Super Dangerverse, you know what I mean? Yeah, similar to VM or WM, I think I would have like a set, guideline. Like a guideline to, kind of guide the stories. But at the same time, I would kind of differentiate between like a little small publishing house like Resolve Comics versus like Marvel, where like our IPs are pretty new, you know what I mean? 60, 70, whatever, 80 years down the line, if we're still going and we still, you know what I mean, are doing reboots and whatnot, then sure, why not? Because it seems like you guys are a little more heavy into comics than I am, or at least like big 2 properties. But I have a suspicion that I just wonder, like, how many different stories can you tell within certain confines? How many times can you tell the same story? How many times can you kill somebody off and bring them back and start it over? You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, I feel like you do have to like switch things up a little bit. And I would argue that like, I think Absolute Batman kind of subverts that idea that you really need to have like, you really need to do like certain things a certain way, or maybe not. But I do feel like the Absolute universe at least is a great example of like how switching things up and kind of bringing in like a fresh new way to tell a story can liven things up a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1000%. That is a very good point. I love Absolute Batman. Mr. Vashmir, how about you, sir?
I don't think somebody could just walk into our comic and kind of take over. And the only reason I say that is because our main character, Pepper herself, is a 16-year-old punk rocking bisexual teen. And I don't write her myself. There's a team of women that I go to get advice about the character herself. So, I mean, you would still have to go through them to be able to get it. But I think that's what also makes the character so unique and irreplaceable. So I would say, no, I don't think anybody could just come in. And the second reason I would say that would be that in this comic book is a history of sci-fi and fantasy. So there are little small pockets within the comic itself where you might find something that's a reference to a movie that back in the day. Like if you're a Ghostbuster fan, right? And I'm going to ask you this, since you said you got some age on you. There's a place inside the Ghostbusters film that Ray used to work at. Do you remember what it was? Before he became a Ghostbuster.
What? Oh, God damn it.
He had a little shop in New York City. He had a little store. And it was like
they actually showed that in the latest film. They showed that in the latest film.
They did.
I forgot the name of it.
In one of our comic book panels, Pepper was walking past that store. So it's
that's
just
Fire.
yeah. So I put anything that I can think of from the 80s to the 90s. I just dumped it in there for people like you, so you could be like, wait, hold on, no, that can't be, you know. So I feel like that's something that maybe everybody can't do, and I know my history and my love for 80s and 90s films. So I don't think somebody else could do that. I feel like I'm the only person that can pull that off.
No, for sure. I think that's super creative.
But surely somebody else could come join your team if you already have a team.
Absolutely, 100%. Look, if you know what Brave Star is, you already on the team.
Fact. Yeah, when we old like us, believe me.
You want me to send you the episodes? I can send you the episodes if you want to watch it.
So, Jay, just to make sure I'm right, you said you're writing a story where Wolverine has a pink outfit. He's a transsexual going around poking everybody.
Fire.
How long have you been writing that story?
I will read it.
And thank you, Jalen, for being
I'll read it.
Yeah,
we gotta support you, bro. You gotta support.
I'm in the right bathroom, bub.
All
I
right.
need to know the origin story.
All right. We got two questions left, and then we can move on.
Pronoun, bub.
Exactly.
I'm done.
Adam, that was fire. Oh no, I'm keeping that. We're gonna put that. That's gonna be a clip.
I was gonna say that. Y'all gotta clip that one. Right. Bub is crazy.
Super fire. All right, so as I guess Adam is not the biggest comic book fan, but for the rest of us that enjoy comic books, Adam is anti-comic book. What changes would you like to see within the industry of the comic book side of the industry, not the like movies and the films? Like, do you feel like there are some things holding the industry back? Do you feel like there are things that are currently in place that are happening that you're like, man, I feel like this brings down this world that they've created for us?
Kill someone.
Permanently?
Yes, man. Listen, this is my beef. If there's anybody that's got beef with Marvel and DC, and it's an honest beef, but I get it, right? So it's a brand, right? You want to hold on to the brand. They hold on to Superman like Disney holds on to Mickey Mouse, right? We'll never get rid of it. But that's why I love manga. That's why I appreciate anime. They don't have a problem with killing off their series. They're like, this is the end of this. This is how it's ended. And then it's it. Like, the end.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Okay.
One Piece.
That's not him.
That died.
That's the company. He would have been done with it.
And that's exactly what you can say about Marvel and DC. So
exactly.
It makes Superman makes way too much money to kill him off. However, in agreeing with you, when they killed him in the 90s, bro, I was heartbroken. And you're talking about one of the highest selling comics of all time.
Let him die for like at least 2 or 3. Like at least let it be believable, right? Because if Superman dies tomorrow, you're gonna be like, he's gonna be back next week.
Yeah,
he'll be back with the nacho fries next year.
Right, like 2 years pass.
When they killed him off, it was a year before and he didn't immediately come back. So they killed him. A year went by, then they dropped like comic books centered around people that wanted to pick up the mantle for him. Crazy. So then you had the Man of Steel guy, which was a black guy. And then they had Superboy, and they were all connected into one storyline. And then it took maybe another year to bring Superman back. You know what I mean? But he wasn't the same. Like he was like weaker. But I'm just co-signing what you're saying is that when you really not just kill somebody, but make it the moment that it deserves to be. Yeah. If we were to finally eradicate, and I hate to keep throwing Wolverine and everything, but I'm just saying he's just a you know, everybody knows him. If we were to literally kill off Wolverine in a comic book, that would be shockwaves through the. I mean, there's a way. There's a way. You know,
I feel like what hurts just to what co-sign what Vashmir said, because DC understood that concept for a decent while. Because I remember there's another fellow content creator, Jay Penumbra, he brought this point up where it's like there's a certain period of time where they understood the concept of progression. While Barry Allen was gone and he had stayed dead for so long that people thought Wally West was the Flash. You had the Young Justice coming up. You had Hal Jordan gone. You had John Stewart, but then they decided to push Kyle Rayner in there kind of thing. it's like and then along with that, there's so many young heroes that was coming along with it. Like even when Batman died, the family found a way to grow from that, and Tim Drake became Red Robin, and that was like peak Tim Drake writing and all that. And then they all of a sudden said, okay, let's revert, and it's like you didn't even need to do that because you were making money.
Right.
Like, that was the peak of comic books influencing the younger audience because so many people. I like there are so many people who are older than me. It's like this was the stuff back then. They just had to go back, kind of thing. And I feel like right now they didn't know how to do it. I mean, because back like after DC, what was it, like Death Metal? They said, okay, future state and all that, and there's like, and they were trying to. I feel like they did it wasn't. They were trying to make progress, but it was too much of like a scorched earth situation where it's like, okay, wipe the slate. Okay, but what if the slate doesn't? Okay, but just wipe it, and it's like, okay, kind of things. Like some stuff landed, but other stuff kind of didn't, kind of thing. Like even then, it's like the only stuff I heard talked about was was Tim Fox's Batman. That's the thing I heard talking about and all that. And I'm like, even with the Titans, it's like it felt like we got dropped in the middle of an apocalypse. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Okay, so Raven's bad again. Nightwing is Deathstroke. Red X is a separate dude now. What's going on? And then they say, you know what, let's just see this. I felt like they're like, you see, this is why stuff like this isn't where we're gonna stick with the original stuff. And it's like, no, you did a bad job of trying to.
I think also another problem that we put these comic book companies in is us as Americans, we tie too closely to things, right? Because like, you know, just looking around the room in some situations, somebody might have a Batman. Like I got Spider-Man right there, right?
Yeah.
So we hold on to these characters so tightly that the company feels like, well, why should we take a gamble on something that won't work? You know what I mean? And then we fight over them and we have podcasts about them. So it's like, how can I move forward with a new character and introduce a new character when, you know, you've already set a standard for me to keep this character the way they are?
And I feel like that's kind of a corner that, like, low key, I'm gonna tie this to like the reason why when I go into a comic book store, I'm going straight to like Image or Boom or like whatever, because I just have a feeling that like these, like high key, the big two have kind of backed themselves into a corner in a way, in that like they work with like established IPs that are like 50, 60, 70, 100 years old, and like, you know what I mean? Like you can kill off one of these characters, but you're gonna have to bring them back eventually, and like you're gonna have to like operate within that framework. Versus like if we're talking about manga, or not even manga, but just like an indie title, it's like, you know, that's gonna come with like a definitive end, like a beginning, middle, end. You're not gonna have to deal with like reboots or anything like that. Yeah. I don't know.
But do you guys feel like that in other countries like Japan, that they're a little bit more like mobile with the stuff that they love, right? Because I see that somebody in Japan could be okay with loving several different types of mangas, but over here in the States, I feel like people are like, Batman's the best. That's it. It's like, so you don't read nothing else? You don't read Green Lantern? No, Batman. Okay, cool. You're just a Batman hoe. You're just all about Batman.
I feel like to a degree you have a point. Yeah, I feel like whatever they like, I feel like it's a little bit they're kind of malleable by the industry kind of thing, rather than like, okay, we give you some different stuff and then they just only decide to eat on one thing kind of thing. It's like with DC and Marvel, they have given us various things, but the audience will gorge on what they want to gorge. Because like we got Green Arrow, we got all kinds of stuff, but it's like Batman. And then, so like, for example, everyone else who wants to see stuff like the Batman games, we know there's other characters that could be getting video games, but they're always going to cash out on the Batman fanboys because they're the ones going to get the most money. And in terms of anime and manga, it's a bit more of a way of their perspective is shaped by what the companies give them. Because like if you look like the manga industry back then versus now, it was so much more variety back then, right? Because if for example, if I liked sci-fi, I had Trigun, I had Outlaw Star, I had Cowboy Bebop, so forth and so on. Nowadays, if I ain't ready to hear for the umpteenth millionth time, AI can gain sentience and wipe out the earth, I ain't gonna get nothing. Because it's like, okay, right, where are my cyborg cowboys with laser revolvers?
Right.
No, we got claymores and L's that are 1,000 years old, but like 8-year-olds.
Right.
But like you have to go to the indie side, or like not, but like the more like back in the cut stuff to find stuff. Like there's a series called Cosmic Censorship, which is an awesome sci-fi manga, but that's not what the main audience wants because it's not selling like hotcakes, like a more Eurocentric-ish fantasy, like Ichi the Witch. Ichi the Witch is good, and it has like a black zero dragonist, whatever, but it's still in the whole traditional fantasy-ish sense kind of thing, and that's what the people are gonna buy. The manga needs to show people there's more to the world than just this, and then they'll be like, oh, that is cool kind of thing, rather than people over here where it's like, if it's not Batman, I don't want it kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let me jump in because I know one or two of you need to jump off at 7. So I want to go around and really quickly, can you, each one of you pick your favorite, pick the comic IP that you feel is the best entry point for a new fan to get into your comic or your universe. So, Mr. WM, would you mind starting?
You mean like pick a comic within my catalog?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Within your catalog, that would be a great entry point for fans to get into your work.
I mean, if you're talking all of Saturday AM, we have Saturday Wars, which is kind of like all of the main characters within Saturday AM in one story, kind of like our Infinity War, our Secret Wars, I would say this. But if we're just talking about my series, Apple Black, it'll be just like most stuff out of Japan or Korea. You just started issue 1, you started book 1, and that's really where it is. You just started book 1. It's not even that deep.
All right, where's the website? Where can they get your comics from, and how can they follow you?
Apple Black, you can get it at saturday-am.com. You can also read a Webtoon original version because we partner with Webtoon to have those adaptations for their website, and so you can actually read the first 2 volumes there for free in that scroll format. And same thing, you just start with episode 1, or I guess episode 0, but which is just a prologue. But you can just start episode 0. So you can find Apple Black on Webtoon or saturday-am.com, and you can get the manga volumes from there.
Thank you, sir. Nice. All right, Mr. Adam, you, sir.
Yeah, I would say just hit our flagship series, Super Dangerous. You know what I mean? Written by me, illustrated by the GOAT, Lord Katodwe. You can find it on our website, resolvecomics.com/shop resolve. You can also read it for free on Global Comics, on our Global Comics profile. Everything that we've ever published is available to read for free. Try before you buy, you know what I mean? And yeah, check us out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Vashmir.
Check us out you want to definitely check out Pepper Piper Monster Hunter Volume 1, Sympathy for the Devil, to get acclimated into the series. And you can find that at pepperpiper.com or pepperpipermonsterhunter.com. It's all the same. It'll all take you to the same place.
All right. That's what's up. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You guys, please do me a favor. We're going to tag you guys inside of the description and everything. But when you get a chance, go to the comment section and drop down you guys' website and anything y'all want. And this way people can follow you as well, besides just, clicking on links from us. So you get y'all profiles and get them. You know how it go right now.
Definitely.
All right. Yeah, I'm not dumping you off. I just know that somebody said that they had to leave at a certain time. So I wanted to make sure we promoted your businesses and your comics so that people can support y'all. So y'all got to do what you got to do. So we're going to move on right now, and so we can get into our next segment. So we're going to go into a commercial. We'll be right back. Y'all keep it locked. Black Nerd Podcast. We in the building.
Who let Pookie hang the TV? Let the pros do it. Call the Get It Done team. 443-653-1369.
Hey, baby.
What's up, love?
I need some new clothes.
Didn't your OnlyFans deposit drop yesterday?
Yeah, but I don't know where to start shopping. I want to switch things up. It's getting hot outside.
Did you grab some merch from your 2 favorite podcasts?
OMG! The BNP just dropped their new signature nerdy line, and I've always wanted an indie show shirt. Great idea, baby. You're a genius.
Better go to vvcmerch.com right now. some of their drops are limited.
VVCmerch.com. I'm on there now. Babe, you want a pickleball set?
One time for your mind is your man Mastermind, host of the indie show All Things Indie, your new favorite podcast that's secretly a late night talk show. Join the movement every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on vvclife.com.
All right. As we continue on our journey, talking about everything comics today, our guy Sloan has specifically crafted and picked each one of these games, to align with our purpose today. Let's start with this.
Comic book fans have been waiting for an open world Superman game to be created. Y'all know those fan-made games on YouTube that have like 10 million views? Well, one of them just fucking came out on the PlayStation Store, bro. And it's free. It's called Undefeated. And Spider-Man 2 and Arkham Knight, listen up. You've just been dethroned for the best superhero game to ever be created. I can't tell. Is this Clark Kent? Is it Superboy? Who is this NPC looking fool with the shades on? Look, this is free 99. Who are we to complain? I know I'm about to geek out on this shit for the next 2 days. People are saying this isn't even a Superman game. It's a Flash game. Cause bro's fast as fuck on his feet as well. The flying mechanics are dope. You actually feel like you're going fast in the air. And he's got these cool ass combos. He does these black slashes. Is this dude Sukuna, bro? He's got to cleave and dismantle. He's an anime character for show. What should we call him? I love this animation style. The best example I can come up with, it looks like the Incredibles movies, bro. Shout out the homie Jack Jack. I like.
Okay, would y'all play this? Be honest. Be honest. Okay, Fetch Me will play it.
Sorry.
I didn't see enough to want to watch it. I mean, to want to play it. Like, I didn't see enough.
Okay. All right, Fame.
I ain't touching that crap. Touching that crap.
Sloan played
it. Looked like, bro, it looked like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Saints Row, and it looked like so many other games. Like I didn't know, bro. No, that's unoriginal slop.
It plays really well, and it's got cool side games with it. They even added some.
Is the missions good? Like, is the story good?
Yes, like it's not some stuff where it's like, oh, I'm overpowered and it's so easy to do. No, you have speed challenges. You got to protect the city from destruction, so forth and so on. They even added stuff where if you find certain like there's an electric power plant, if you get hit by lightning there, you actually get a speed increase there. And later on, they've had other updates. But this was kind of just like a tester, or just to show what they could do, because they've actually done a second game called Undefeated Genesis, which is like way bigger and it has way better. But just try out the demo and see what they can do, just so you can get hyped for the next game, which is literally better.
Only
they should have had you sell it.
No, they had to pay him to say this. That's the only reason why I'm playing.
They needed
you. Crazy.
I'm gonna check it out. For you, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I feel y'all. I mean, I see both sides of the coin, so it is what it is. Let's move on to our next one.
A surreal new action adventure set in the realm of dreams and nightmares. It looks like Alice Madness Returns, infused with some Jinx from League of Legends. In this game, a plague has taken over the world, but it's one that isn't killing you. People don't just fall asleep anymore, and instead, they're trapped in nightmares. And you are the only one who can enter the world between reality and those nightmare rifts. But there's a catch. The more rifts you seal, the more you personally change. The game features a sanity and morality system that pushes your madness with every decision. Can you stay true to yourself and help the people in need? Or will you embrace the dark and become the very nightmare that nightmares are afraid of? Your physical appearance and even your ending change based on how far you go. The combat in this game is a fast-paced, hack-and-slash action firework with over 500 skill variations, and will include roguelike elements, procedurally generated rifts, and a diesel punk aesthetic that is absolutely stunning. It's called Koshmar: The Last Reverie. Are you brave enough for the nightmares? And what choice would you take? Let me know in the comments and follow for more.
Obviously, have to go the villain route, right? Like.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Why be a good guy when you could be a bad guy?
You know.
All right. Who's playing it?
Me.
So obviously Jalen's gonna play it, and Sloan is gonna play it. Anybody else? Any other takers?
Yeah,
Really,
it
Fame?
kinda look like
It looked
no, I'm
a
playing it.
little
I'm playing
bit
it.
more interesting. I'll
Yeah.
play the
Okay.
demo.
All
I was
right.
about to say, I don't see
Bingo.
WM paying no money for that. He gonna play the demo and then give it to somebody. All right, Vashmir, you ain't playing that neither.
Nah, man, that looked like little the dude that created Little Nightmares got with the boy that created Kingdom Hearts.
I love Kingdom Hearts, so maybe that's why.
I do too, but that just looked like it was like a bad ripoff.
Yo,
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
I said as they was explaining, I was like, oh, this like a Fable, and mixed with League of Legends, of course. So I was like, that's what kind of hooked me. I agree with the demo.
The MC wasn't very like appealing at all to me. Like I didn't even want to. Like I got nothing from that character at all. It was just the outfit, the style, the hair. It was just wasn't working for me. Not somebody I would want to be for 50 hours of gameplay time.
You know what?
I like that. I like that. I like how you broke it. Correct.
Yeah, he broke that down. Okay. All right, let's move on to the third one.
Of the Storm, and I do not see enough fans talking about Marvel Cosmic Invasion, so I'm gonna put you on to something good. Like Marvel Rivals, this is a love letter to the lovers of the source material, while also a way to bring new fans to the Marvel Universe into their lore. I love the retro aesthetic of this game and how they combine it with modern day gaming mechanics and make it fresh and new, but not too complicated. But not only that, I like how they decide to make this game local co-op and online co-op, because we do not have enough local co-op games nowadays. But on to the mechanics, I didn't expect it to be as complex as it was. I mean, it's not super complex to where I can barely understand what's going on, but it's complex enough to have it be unique. Like how they have different combo moves, they have a parry mechanic, and they have passes mechanics. Like at first, I thought they're just gonna do the whole basic, oh yeah, he uses his Hellfire and Hellfire capabilities to fight. But then once I found out he uses his cosmic abilities to counter and supplement his stuff, such as how he does the cosmic counter and then he does the blast boost, I was like, my main of this game is Cosmic Ghost Rider, one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time, and he's the most fun to play, and I'd be demolishing my opponents with him. Another aspect I love about this game is how they decide to use underused characters like Beta Ray Bill, Fire Level, etc., and bring this into the game, exposing them to a newer, modern audience. And Marvel Rivals got people interested in the lore, so hopefully this will also have the same effect, because Beta Ray Bill is arguably one of Marvel's best characters written ever. And I love how they're using other underused Marvel villains as well, such as Annihilus and Taskmaster as well, exposing mainstream fans to the actual Taskmaster, not that MCU abomination. But yeah, if you're looking for a fun game to plug into and just have fun with your friends, Cosmic Invasion is the perfect game for you.
I don't know who that guy was, but he did a shit job. You know what I'm saying? I'll just play it. Okay. I like the game for the elements that you spoke of, using the underused characters and making them part of the game. That makes it interesting for me. However, Marvel and DC drop so many games all the time that
you forgot to put garbage in front of games.
Oh, that was dirty. But anyway, like I was saying, I feel like they dropped too many titles and it just diminishes the value of, me getting excited about it. But if you like it, I love it, Sloan. So I'll give it a run. So, all right, let's go around. Who's playing this game and who's ignoring it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm probably not playing this one.
WM, you're not playing no video games. We just you're not a gamer, dog. Like,
yeah, I play FIFA. If I cook everybody here. I played Devil May Cry. I played the Bleach game. I play not as much as I'd like, but I do play games. But you gotta. I play the Sad AM game that's coming out.
Oh yeah,
nice.
I've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, I play that.
Are you a character in the game? Like, will I be able to play you in the game?
I wish, but no, it's my characters, not me. That would make no sense. I'll draw.
I mean, you never know. You trying to be a celebrity too, man. That helps, carry your greatness along. All right, Mr. Vashmir, would you play Cosmic Invasions or Invaders or whatever this called?
If it's given Battletoads and like Marvel Arcade, yeah, I'm playing it.
Oh yeah, that's
man. Yeah, that is gangster as hell. I used to love playing Battletoads. That's so crazy. So crazy. All right. Jalen, how about you? Are you giving this a whirl?
Probably not. I would like this is something like I would play with you guys, and then that's probably it. That's probably the only time I would touch it.
Yeah, facts. That's exactly how it ended up going down. And Fame, I already know you don't care.
Well, it depends, Sloan. Is Cyclops in the game?
Why would he be in a cosmic invasion?
Yeah. I'm not touching it then. Mm-mm.
Why wouldn't he be in a comic?
And he could get flown or Gene back. You know, he could come in as an assistant.
How?
He
can't breathe in space. Yeah, like that don't help at all. All right, let's get
Gene. What are you talking about? He's straight.
Boy, we ain't never gonna get through this show. We're gonna be here tomorrow. Golly, there's so much stuff going on. All right, so let's get to the news for today. Kingdom of Zod. All right, let me get into this and start reading like I'm supposed to. All right, the DC Comics, The Return of Zod. DC officially pulled the curtain back on its next major Superman event, Kingdom of Zod. The premiere launching in August 2026 is the crossover spins out of the Rise of the Superman Sons event. It deals with a kryptonite boom on Earth that General Zod explodes for a full-scale invasion. The lineup, the story will run through Action Comics, Superman, Supergirl, and Superman Unlimited. Key creative writers include Joshua Williamson and Mark Wayad. I have no idea how they do that. With a Super Force team featuring Superboy Prime, Connor Kent joining the fray. Okay, all right. Well, obviously, Fame's not really excited about this major event. How about you guys? Like you guys just as disappointed? Y'all got your sleepers on and your rompers ready to go to bed, or are you actually thinking about reading it?
I'm excited for it. What they've been doing with Superman has been really interesting because, like, I hope they find a way to keep writing it because, like, the way they left Superman off basically being like a higher cosmic being, I feel like this is like a great chance to give a bunch of other characters to shine, just like Superboy Prime. So. And I trust what they're doing with the Superman title because Superboy Prime being the main Superman right now has been absolutely amazing. And the fans have been loving it too. So, and I like General Zod and I want to see more Zod. So I'm definitely going to buy this.
Okay. You guys, Mr. Williams, Vashmir, how do y'all feel?
That potato salad ain't have no seasoning. You put those 4 things up. I ain't seen that white milk, so I'm a pass. Look at that, just bland. And the only color on that picture was the suits.
Well, are you saying this? Go ahead, Mr. Williams. Mr. WM.
You could go, and I was just gonna say, as I would, I'd give it a whirlwind if it was. I'd open the book if it was in front of me.
It was in front of me.
Yeah. I mean, I wish the cover wasn't done like it was like MAGA Comics 2026, but I mean,
exactly why I dozed off because
Yeah, but I definitely think it's interesting. I think Zod is a fire character that is underused, but that's just my stupid opinion. Who am I?
Right.
Nobody.
You're right.
All right. Let's see. Marvel's May 2026 solicitations have hit, and everything is leading towards the massive Avengers Armageddon event. All right. The ultimate fallout, Miles Morales. Hold on. Let me put his picture up. All right. Miles Morales is back from the Ultimate Universe with origin boxes, catalysts for new heroes that the entire Marvel Universe is now fighting for. All right, so they have an Iron Man Doom. Let's see, Iron Man and Dr. Doom. Tony Stark is on a collision course with a new all Hulk strike team led by Red Hulk while trying to keep Doom's technology out of the wrong hands. All right. Oh, God. You would have thought I never learned how to read English.
We know.
All right. Shut up. They got a Midnight Horror line that's supposed to be coming out in Jonathan Hackman's 2007 Living Mummy story, as fans speculate on if he be the architect behind his Supernatural revival. All right, so Image Comics. Hold on, let me get these guys off the screen. Sorry.
So this is
Image
all in Avengers Armageddon, or are you just going? You
Yeah, he didn't think to ask us what we thought about it, Armageddon and like the pieces or anything. Just
oh.
Yeah,
because
like,
I got a lot. All right, so go ahead. So y'all want to talk about so we go Avengers Armageddon. All right, and all right. So then let's talk about Miles Morales.
I got a video actually talking about this segment. I mean that, but like that's all topic for another day. But it's like I feel like they're trying to workshop the mess that is them putting an expiration date on the new Ultimate Universe, because I feel like they put it on. They didn't think it was gonna be good. It was good, but then it's like, shoot, we made an expiration date in this universe. Is there a way to workshop this? And for me, it's like you already did. You didn't do a good. You failed. You put an expiration date on it, and we're not. For me, I'm not reading anything else that they're trying to basically say. Okay, this is the way we're going to tidy it up. It's like, no, you want to tidy it up. Retcon the fact that you put an expiration date on that. Do that. Then maybe you'll get my money.
Okay. All right. And anybody else wanted to throw in?
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit more detached from these stories. That I'm not following them as much to be excited. Just visually, the Armageddon actually looked pretty cool to me on the cover. But I'm not following the stories close enough to actually be excited or not excited about it. I'm kind of more. Yeah, I'm honestly just, especially being in a creative space where I'm creating stuff. In recent years, my consumption of comics, even Japanese comics, has kind of taken a nosedive.
Yeah.
Now, understand, because you don't want to end up like subconsciously taken from those IPs anyway. You want to stay fresh and creative and stuff like that. So
there's an element of that, but it's not primarily that. It's actually just being busy. And because I still like when I watch movies and play video, like I'm consciously or subconsciously kind of studying everything and seeing what I like, what I don't like, and it influences what I do. So I'm not really afraid of that. It's just more of my focus kind of elsewhere.
Somewhere else.
I see what you mean.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to move on to our next part. Image Comics, gritty returns and horror. Image is leaning heavily into creator-owned horror and splatter-noir for the late summer. All right. Death Visual returns. Death Visual. Okay. All right. This fan favorite series, Death Visual, drops this August. If you like Death Knights fighting cosmic horrors, this is your book. Okay. The next one is Hammer Fist.
I'm excited for this one.
Rick Remender and Steve Epting announcing Hammer Fist, described as Reservoir Dogs meets Evil Dead. It's a gritty hitman story that mutates into a supernatural nightmare. Okay. All right. The next one is, excuse me, my apologies. The next one is all right. This is a new hallucinogenic horror series. Odin is gaining major buzz for its dark take on occultism in the Norwegian wilderness. Wow, that's really crazy. So shout out to you guys, man. That's what I have as far as that part. You guys weirded out yet? Or y'all ready for some more? No? Now, so what do y'all think about these? What is it? These are 3 comics. Give me you guys' opinions.
Artistically, they look great.
Yeah, that last one was interesting. I love anything new. It's nice to explore some different spaces, especially when they have some type of background to it. That's always cool.
Word.
Yeah, I can say that Odin one just.
Yeah, that one was. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, about that. When we wrap all of this up, I can't wait to go see the 4th episode of From. So I love horror. That Hammer Fist. Yeah, you too, man. That the Hammer Fist joint. The combination of Reservoir Dogs meets you said
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. That I don't know. That sounds like a nut bag of crap. But I want to read it to make sure that I'm incorrect. So it sounds fun. It sounds fun. So I definitely
It looks like a colored version of SimCity.
I like they're like they're saying it's like it's not the hero we need, it's the hero we deserve. I'm like, okay, I'm listening because we need a hero who pops some skulls, but it's also
more
stronger than nice.
This is right up my dark ass alley.
Okay, so it's time to get pro black people.
With a white face. Not so much a corruption than it is appropriation and theft. A majority of comic book characters can be seen clearly as African deities with a white face.
Spider-Man is symbolic of the West African god of stories. His name, Kwaku Anansi, and he is depicted as a spider god of West Africa. Marvel featured Anansi in a volume of Spider-Man stories in 2003, where Anansi is called the first Spider-Man. The mythology of Anansi dates back to ancient Ghana and is not only symbolized in the character of Spider-Man, but also Marvel's Black Widow and DC's Tarantula.
Iron Man can be traced back to the Roman god of war, Mars, which can be traced back to the Greek god of war, Ares, which can be traced back to the Kemetic god of war, Montu Heru. Like all gods of war, Tony Stark, when we're first introduced to him, is an arms dealer selling weapons of war to the military. Tony Stark can be seen hammering upon the anvil, which is the representation of the Orisha Ogun, the West African god of war. The African deity Oya, goddess of rain, lightning, thunder, and wind, is syncretized to Aset or Isis, the Kemetic goddess of weather. We also know her by the name Gaia, the nature goddess dating back 1200 BC, who we call Mother Nature. In the Marvel comics, she is depicted as Aurora Monroe. The attributes of this goddess are presented in the character Storm of the X-Men. You have the Egyptian god Sobek, who is Oshun in West Africa. He is Poseidon in Greek mythology. He is Neptune in Roman mythology. And he is also Namor and Aquaman in Marvel and DC.
Shango is the most popular and most feared Vodun god of West Africa. Known for his axe, Shango is the god of thunder, fire, and lightning. He can cast a thunderstone to earth, which creates thunder and lightning, directed to anyone who offends him. In Greek mythology, Shango is known as Hercules, and they are syncretized to the Kemetic god Heru. It couldn't be more obvious that Thor is based on the characters of this god. We know Loki as the trickster, neither good nor evil, and the most powerful.
I think y'all get the point. All right. As long as y'all don't forget it. There would be no bomb without niggas.
They need to fact check some of that.
I was gonna say, do you think some of this stuff is a reach, or is this like?
I'd say 60% of it is a reach, because I've seen this argument before. It's like
85.
It's like this guy looks similar to this African thing, so that means they got it from that. It's like, no, if you look across the world, various cultures have similar deities. Because like if you want to dumb it down to simple stuff like, okay, a strong male god who wields lightning, is ferocious, and has a specific weapon that can be attributed to his person. Like,
okay.
So many people say, "Oh yeah, Thor comes from Shango." I'm like, what about Shock? We gonna say Shock comes from Shango too? We gonna say because he's a lightning dude who wields an axe and all that kind of stuff. It's like in the whole concept of dragons. I feel like more than anything, it's like that quote that goes where it's like, if you put a bunch of chimps on a computer, like in a computer room, they'll eventually make Shakespeare. So I feel like with our creativity as humanity, eventually we would do something. Hence why we all have dragons. Hence why we all have swordsmen. Hence why we all have so many things that look similar. Or else we're gonna have to bring into question, okay, so what kind of thing? It's just I feel like it's just a reach kind of thing. I feel like it's a big reach.
Like, I'm not negating the fact that like Black people are the blueprint for a lot of things, but some of this seemed a little bit of a reach. I'm sure that some of it is true and some of it is, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't think
She
I would have
overreached 3 times.
Our
And she
creators,
went from,
go ahead.
no,
No,
she went from Iron Man to it was Iron Man to what, Ares to Ogun, all in 2 scenes. It's like, wait, if we doing 1, are we gonna do 2? Are we gonna do 3? We doing 3 multiple gods all in Iron Man? So you're saying that's why we think it's a reach, is because you're saying that they're taking one person and they're putting multiple things inside of their stories. That's literally hip hop. That's literally our culture. Even if somebody else took it from somewhere else, we literally do that ourselves. We take things that we know and we add on to it. We tell stories through it. Bro, every stove has fire. You telling me that nobody else can have fire besides making it with sticks? Like you tell, space is black. You know what? I think a black man a black man did invent space. But this is what this sounds like to me every time. I just be like, yeah, I want to say that no, not me, but they want to say that somebody stole something from somebody and somebody's not getting the credit that they deserve. Or if y'all only knew more of this information, when 5,000 years ago, nobody can say what information is being passed on the right way whatsoever at all. So at least we're getting some of that information, and then we can do what all of us on here do. We create stories with it. We justify it the way we want to justify it. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Marvel artists do. That's what DC artists, Image artists. I know that's what I do. I'm pretty sure that's what you guys do on all your IPs. You take something. Well, of course, we said we passed the Ghostbuster store and Pepper. We take great things and we add on to it. But I give the floor to you, Batch, man.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, if you saw Iron Man 3, was it Iron Man 2, the one where he was able to make the suit come to him? Was that Iron Man 2?
2.
Don't say 3.
It was 3. I was the only person in the movie theater that was like, Gizmo Duck. So, like they just stripped Gizmo Duck's power and gave it to Iron Man. So it's like if you know where the original source is from, then you can cite it. But if you don't, then what's who cares at that point? It's going to come from something.
Game is the game. All right, one last thing and we're going to move on.
Advertisers pay for it. Eyeballs. Where advertisers now going to get eyeballs? Streamers. Because they're there for 12 hours. So if I can put up 5 advertising spots during a 12-hour stream with a person that's garnishing 250 to 300,000 live viewers that stay, well, you're surpassing TV. TV no longer gets that in real time because everybody's watching TV on demand. Which is why advertising dollars are now going to stream here. But now the streamers are compromising that business and I'm putting a dent. So the business of YouTube, the business of Twitch and etc. is over $1 billion in ad revenue now. That money used to all just be at the studio.
And growing.
So the studios are like, what the fuck, man? Explain it to me. He walks around his house all day and just he has a camera. What type of production? Are they spending $20 million?
It's a cell phone.
I think it's an iPhone, to be honest with you. And they got it on the little thing. What do they call it? Melissa, what is it called? Are you talking about the selfie stick? The selfie stick? Well, what do they go for? $3 million? $5 million? $20, I think, if I'm not mistaken. A selfie stick and an iPhone and a.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think that they're taking money out. I wouldn't say they're taking money out of their pockets per se. Okay, so if you watch TV, you watch TV, right? And if you watch streamers, you watch streamers. Cool. But it's kind of like when you have independent artists versus people that are on a record label. Like the independent artists aren't really taking from the record label. They both exist in their separate, spaces. these TV productions, they need to spend money. They have to spend money. But the streamers, like, it's either you have it or you don't. Like, you can have all the equipment, you have the same equipment, you can have the same, but if you don't have it, you just don't have it. So if you're an artist and you just don't have the sauce, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to have any fans. You're not going to, have any listeners or, whatever. So I feel like they could be, I don't think that they're taking money away from them. But if that's the facts, then that's the facts, and I'm wrong. But yeah.
Okay. I would just say it is. See what he's not saying that streamers destroyed that side. He's saying that this didn't exist 5 years ago. And for the amount of money, if it's $1.5 billion, that's a lot of money that's not going to Universal, Paramount, Warner Brothers. Like, that's a lot of money. So if they're used to getting, $2 or $3 billion a year in advertising, and now it goes from $3 billion to $1.5 billion because now they've taken half of that budget and allotted it to streamers, your network, that's a huge hit for a network because you're dependent on that $3 million re-up so that you can fund your productions for that year and, kick out your bonuses, maintain whatever IPs you have. So when you start losing billions of dollars, then you've got to start figuring out, all right, well, how do we either re-get that 1.5, get that money that we lost back, or, we got to figure out, people got to start losing their jobs. We got to start downsizing or trying to find ways we can make money in other directions. So streaming is a big discussion in a lot of meetings that I have with industry people. Everybody's trying to figure out, like, how can they get into streaming, B, they can get the streamers to come be a part of what they're doing. There's a ton of that stuff because it's become so powerful. And the fact that these guys are independent business owners, they're not connected to Universal. They're not connected. These are some guys that started making millions out of nowhere and got an audience, and they don't have any control over them. You can't do nothing to them. You can't even threaten them. What you gonna threaten them with? They got an iPhone. You take the iPhone, they buy another one. They generating millions of dollars, so they can operate in silos to where nobody can touch them. That's what makes it even. Back in the day, the industry had influence because they could pressure somebody to silence you or to not do business with you, to cut you up. They controlled the gateway to the public, and they controlled all of the systems by which you would make money. Now there are so many different ways to make money. And if you have a vertically integrated system, meaning that all the money comes through you and all of the business and the audience comes through you, nobody can touch you. So that's pretty scary for an industry that used to be in control.
I got a quick question. WM, you have a YouTube plaque behind you. Can you speak a little bit on this subject real fast?
I'm with JS in the sense that with streaming, it's definitely eaten into the market share, and so that, like you said, that money that maybe would have gone exclusively to them now is going this way. They're finding unique ways and just new ways of spreading stuff out, and so the internet obviously is eating a chunk of that pie, not just with streaming, but everything. Like people who post on TikTok or wherever the case may be, people who are doing things, building their own audiences, right? They're able to kind of take a bite into that, and these companies know, and so they even find ways to collaborate with them. That's why you see someone who maybe they've built an audience talking about comics online, and then all of a sudden now the comic book companies start to, even the movies, maybe start collaborating with them, bringing them on press junkets and on tours and premieres and things like that, so it can spread even more to their audience. So definitely a portion of the marketing budget is now going to be cut, where maybe it would have gone to some other thing. Now it's going to go to endeavors involving the internet. And so that's just, it's definitely going to hit. What I would even suggest is maybe marketing avenues of the past that are probably less effective than, you know, the streamers or just the new online quote unquote influencers. And here, even with me building what I've built over the years and building this my YouTube channel and how it's tied to making comics and all of that, that has helped greatly in when it comes to promoting our projects, talking about our projects, books, video games, and stuff like that. And we're also in many ways eating into that market share of the people who would have spent, you know, on average they spend $50 on manga, right? Now all the years prior, right? So now that our manga is now on the marketplace, it's now going to, some of that money is now going to come to us, right? We don't have that a huge chunk of that market share. Obviously, you still have like the Marvel and DC, especially in America. But even the mere thought of having the books in Barnes and Noble on the bookshelf, that is bookshelf space that would have gone to another book. So as long as this new competitor, whatever it may be, has come into the space, you are definitely affecting others. And so you can even see a lot of politics that will happen behind the scenes where it's like, hey, you know what? We have our big seller is Attack on Titan, or let me use Shonen Jump. I say a big seller, One Piece, whatever. And there's other shonen manga that they have that's coming out, and they'll be like, hey, Barnes & Noble, you want One Piece, right? All your fans want One Piece. So we're going to give you One Piece. It's going to be on there. We're going to do business with you. But you got to take 2-piece and 3-piece, 4-piece. And that's going to eat more of that bookshelf space. And that's also one of the, you know, sneaky ways that companies can creatively edge or combat competition, right? And that's why, you know, sometimes you go to your Barnes & Noble, there's like a bunch of books there you've never heard of. We talk about it all the time. The main founder of Saturday AM, Fred, even mentions it. A lot of times, some companies, it might be just one book that's paying all the bills. And then it's funding everything else. And so at the end of the day, as long as a new competitor, whatever it may be, in this case, streaming, as long as that comes in, we're all, especially in this digital age, we're all competing with everything. I'm online, I'm competing. This podcast is competing with comedians on TikTok or whatever, because that's another place somebody's eye could have gone versus your work or whatever you're trying to share. So it's all connected. And so now if streaming is the next big thing, it's not just eating into all those industries, it's eating into everything. You know, you dropping money, giving donations to that streamer, that's money that they might have used to buy Starbucks, and now they're not going to buy that Starbucks anymore. So it's everything is more connected in this era. And so, you know, that's why they're all going to be worried or find ways to get involved with that space.
All right, let's move on, because you know, I want to get us to the end of this train ride. Let's go.
Yo, I'm coming on strong like I'm bursting through the page. Got that comic vibe, heroes rise, I'm ready to engage. Thoughts are heavy, but my mind's a canvas painted bold with the rhythm in my soul. Watch the story unfold, fighting battles with my words like I'm spinning.
All right, Sloan, it's on you, my guy.
All right, so the comic book for today is from Noir Caesar, and it's called Exogenesis. The author and artist, I believe, is Nicholas. He did work for Milestone with Milestone Returns, and I believe he did some work on the Dakota Incident. I'm not sure, but for this book specifically, it's a story that takes place in the future where technology has advanced heavily and stuff like that, and even certain like space travel is accessible by a little bit. But the main focus of this section of the future is basically there's a new sport, I forgot the name, but think of Real Steel, but it meets UFC. So people are using suits and like cybernetic suits to enhance their physical abilities, so forth and so on, and they're just duking it out, even are allowed to have weapons, so forth and so on. But it's so dangerous because that certain times they're even allowed to kill their opponents in the ring. Our protagonist is somewhat of a delinquent who was bullied, then he was like trained to kickbox and so forth and so on. But he had a really good skill, as whenever he got into a fight, he almost always won. So with him being a delinquent, like that's which is the result of like him being from a low income area and his dad being dead due to like a work accident, there was like a constant pressure for him to join gangs, but he like violently retaliates back, like, no, I'm not joining your gangs. Well, so to get out of jail free card for this story for him in this story was basically signing on to this guy who wanted to turn him into a fighter for this series, for this whole sport kind of thing. And it's a really interesting story because I like the whole premise of you think you're good at fighting until you actually meet other good fighters and you find out, wow, you got a long way to go. I really like that dynamic. So and this is like the first book I bought from Caesar, and it definitely isn't. It's not like an amateur read. This is actually top quality, and I highly recommend it if you like martial arts, if you like sci-fi, and if you like just like intense stories that can go from normal to like crazy within a single volume.
My guy. All right. I'm sorry.
As usual, Salone, you know I got two questions. One, what's up with my boy hair? He like he got that nappy with a fader on his side as well too. I like that style. But then the second, because I know that you know you got this fascination with Ripper doctors. Is that what's going on in this world?
No, it's not. He's not a cyborg. It's a suit that he could take on and off.
Okay, all right. So he can put it on and take it off, and then dang. So his meat flesh still has to take all of the pounding pause from actually having. Dang, that's a lot.
Yes.
I gotta read this.
Boy.
I'm interested.
That was a gay statement, boy. That was deeply thought. All right, let's move on, man.
Okay, class, put your tinfoil hats on. Is it real? No, seriously, is it?
All right. This is the tinfoil hat session. I'm sorry, we should have notified you ahead of time to bring your own tinfoil hats, but but I mean, you'll be affected by camera. So. It's all good. Yeah. It gets a little weird. So there was a question before showtime. Are there conspiracy theories within the comic realm? Sloan said, hell nah, ain't no. So I went to the old trusty internet and sure enough found some secret arbitrage, the secret plot to tank rival comic book companies. The Legend of Marvel versus DC mold sleeper agents. I was like, wait, what? So let's get into this, man. Let's get into this. The Marvel versus DC corporate sabotage. There is a long-standing theory that Marvel and DC have at various points planted moles at their rival companies to intentionally tank successful books. The legend says when a high-profile writer moves from one big two publisher to the other and proceeds to write a run that is universally hated or destroys a character's legacy, fans claim they are a sleeper agent sent to devalue the rival's intellectual property. Wow, that's crazy. Exhibit A, Brian Michael Bendis moving to DC to write Superman. Some fans joked and some genuinely believed he was sent by Marvel to dismantle the Man of Steel status quo before Marvel's cinematic dominance could be challenged. Wow. Okay. So here's another one. This is not a part of that. It's a totally different conspiracy theory. The Spider-Man is a mutant. In the Marvel universe, mutants, aka X-Men, are hated and feared, while mutates like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four are often celebrated as heroes. The legend is some theorists believe Peter Parker is actually a naturally born mutant whose powers just so happen to manifest at the same exact moment when he was bitten by the spider. The cover-up. The theory suggests just so happened. The theory suggests that Marvel editors keep this under wraps because if Peter were officially to become a mutant or be stated as a mutant, he would be subject to the Sentinels and the social stigma that X-Men and other mutants seem to have to deal with in an everyday problem. How do y'all feel about that? Huh? I thought that was dope. I said this is deep, baby. This is a dope, deep theory. Spider-Man is really a mutant. It explains a lot, bro. Because there are other people that got bitten in the comics and had a bunch of stuff happen, and they didn't have stable transformations. Spider-Man, Peter Parker got bit, had a stable transformation, and never really suffered a lot of, out of the box stuff. I mean, every now and then when they needed a curveball for the comics, but for the most part, he's a stable mutant. Technically, he's mutant. He mutated, and now he's a mutant. So why he doesn't get the distinction? Oh, y'all just gonna sit here and look at me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's a mutant because when it comes to the whole the differences between different spider people, they've already said that Spider Totem's powers manifest in different ways, kind of thing. Like that's what works him. That's why Spider Noir's webs are black, and the Spider Sense works differently from Peter. That's why Aranya, she had to be trapped in a whole ritual for it to work, and it did take a radioactive spiders, and that's why Miguel O'Hare, like when he splices DNA with a spider, he's just as much as a Spider Totem, an avatar of Anansi, just like Peter, kind of thing. But that's for the whole sending over sleeper agent stuff. I feel like there is some weight to it because it's like, because that's like even like from a company standpoint, that wouldn't make any sense even to me because it's like, oh, this guy came over from Marvel to work for the DC. I'm gonna be eyeing him. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be looking at you. I'm gonna be trying to see if you're trying to mess something up.
Yeah, like you would destroy your own career. Like that's the play for me. It's like if you tank something, you're still the person that tanks Superman. So what amount of money are you being guaranteed to live with that for the rest of your life, right? Like, so it's like, all right, you're working for Marvel. Marvel's like, yo, go over to DC, mess up Superman as much as you can. And you're like, all right, so what's the payment for that? $50,000. And then I'm known as an asshole the rest of my life for $50,000. Yeah, that's not how that works. That's
gonna be a little bit more. We're gonna hire you back over at Marvel. You're gonna still get paid good money, and then you get to be, and then we'll. I would do it.
And then
but your name is still in a comic though. As a writer, like you would never get work.
I create another name for myself, another pen name. I go back to the original one, and I turn up. Like, what is we talking about? Y'all act like y'all making something so simple complicated. I'm like, it ain't that serious. I can tank this over here so big and turn up under a different name. Like what?
Do I think that like this is like a common practice? No. But do I think that it's happened? I'm sure it's happened.
Right.
I'm sure.
And you're talking about these two companies when they were at their height, they were selling millions of books all the time. So like they weren't some little company. So they could have gave out a lot more than $50,000. And if you're talking about the 80s and the 90s, $50,000 went a long way back then. You know what I'm saying? You use a lot more lit in that time period. But it's a conspiracy theory, bro. Like what are we doing?
I just, from what I've been watching on television, people were trying to from what I've seen, people were just trying to get away from Marvel and DC. Like if you watch the whole thing about Spawn's creator, like if you listen to like people were literally just like excited to get away from them. Like even him himself, which we wouldn't have Spawn if he hadn't had the opportunity to be like, fuck this company. And there were like other artists that were working with Marvel at the time. He was like, yo, I'm trying to dip out. You trying to dip out? And like that story, I remember seeing it on television, and it was just like, I just think people just was tired of being mistreated by them and stuff. I feel like the people that work for those companies really love the comics, like really love the characters, really love their work. They just were treated terribly, and that was a thing for them.
Yeah,
fuck this company based on the way that they're paying us, based on the way they're treating us, more so than I should tank Superman. I think they generally love those characters.
I like that. So let's go deeper because y'all just think I'm playing. I ain't playing with y'all. I got more. You know what I'm saying? The comic writers occult. Moore versus Morrison, the chaos magic feud. Huh? That's what I'm talking about. This isn't just a fan theory. It's a legend built on real life feud between industry giants Alan Moore from Watchmen and Grant Morrison, the Invisibles. All right, let me get into the details of it. The legend is both writers are practicing occultism. For decades, fans have whispered that their professional rivalry is actually a metaphysical war fought through their scripts. The theory: every time one writer introduces a specific concept, like a sentient idea or a specific sigil, the other responds with a counterspell in their own book to drain the power of the rival's work.
Alan Moore is an actual wizard. He did say that he is a practicing occultist. About Morrison, I haven't looked that much into his personal life, so I have to see. But
well, if they're powerful wizards, it's not working because both of them are what they are. You know what I mean? So.
Are you actually correct on that one? I'll get that up to you, my guy. Good job. Good job. All right. That's about all I got for y'all. You know what I'm saying? That was the clip. That was the last bullet in the chain.
Need a tinfoil hat.
Hey, bro, that's scary stuff right there, man. You could have read a book that had dark magic in it, bro.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I read a bunch of books that had dark magic in it. That's why I sage. Okay.
All right. So y'all know what time it is. It's time to wrap up the show. It's been an hour and 45 minutes, 7:46. Fame and I have to get ready for Baldur's Gate 3 session 31. But before we get out of here, I want to say thank you, Mr. WM. Shout out to you, Mr. Vashmir. Thank you so much for coming. And our other gentleman, Mr. Allen. We appreciate both of y'all, all three of y'all, for joining us. It was so much fun. All right, but before y'all go, before any one of us go, you got to give your shout out. So, Mr. WM, give us your shout outs, tell where people can find you, and promote, because that's what we got to do.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been a blast to hear all the tinfoil hat stuff and all the other fun conversations that we've had to this point. You know what I mean? You can find me at White Manga, pretty much everywhere online, WHYTMANGA. And you can read my comic Apple Black and all the other projects that I've been a part of. You'll be able to find that on my social media, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and the list goes on. Go wishlist our game on Steam, Saturday AM Battle Manga. It kind of takes all our characters from a bunch of series into one fighting game. If that interests you, if you like Marvel Tokon, Guilty Gear, DBFZ, stuff like that, Smash Bros. This should be up your alley. I think it's cool. And then if you want, you can get all our books on Saturday-am.com. That's where you find all the Saturday AM books: Apple Black, Clock Striker, Master Remote Player, World of Ghosts, Orisha. Right, we have all kinds of stories from all kinds of people all over the world, creating work where you get to see yourself as the heroes, the villains, the characters, the worlds. All of that are really reflective of the world we live in today. And finally, you can read Apple Black for free on Webtoon. The first season actually just wrapped up. So, make sure you go like, comment, and do all the fun engagement stuff over there as well.
Awesome. All right. It's your time to shine, Mr. Vashmir. Let's go.
Appreciate it. Just want to say thank you to the podcast for allowing me to come on. Special shout out to Sloan for reading the comic and giving such an awesome and realistic review of it that really touched my soul, and I really appreciate it, knowing how much knowledge you have about the industry. So special thanks to you. You guys can check out Pepper Piper Monster Hunter online at pepperpiper.com or pepperpipermonsterhunter.com. Please follow the Next Step Comics mission statement to be able to diversify the comic book industry, and follow us on Instagram, which you'll see the most work that we have going on, which is Next Step Comics on Instagram or nextstepcomics.com. And you can find out more about the Pepper Piper franchise, more about what we plan to do with it, and hopefully you guys will be here as we continue to pursue greatness with it.
My God. All right, the Queen, Jalen, it is your time to shine.
Okay, so shout out to you guys. Shout out to our special guests for being here, just taking the time out of your day to join us and talk with us. We really appreciate you guys. Shout out to the team. I love you guys. Shout out to everyone who is watching or is going to watch later. I feel like I'm missing something. Shout out to all the moms, and mother figures. It's Mother's Day, so yeah.
Nah, for sure. Big shout out to all the moms. Fame.
Shout out to Sweet Baby Jesus, of course. I had a game that I wanted to premiere today, but I do not have all the information right. And the last thing I'm about to do is embarrass myself while WM is on screen today talking about he just got a game. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. But I will go to social media and put a little clip up of it. It's called Comic Run, and it is something that I want to introduce to comic artists to kind of make their way to becoming a little bit more a part of the Black Nerd Podcast. But I'll talk about it on social media. As usual, thank you to everybody that tuned in on the comments, everybody that's liked and shared, everybody that's supporting us over on the social media and the Patreon pages. Everybody that's over at our Patreon, love you guys, having a blast over there with you guys. Looking forward to more debates and more conversations over there as well. So tell a friend, as always, the Black Nerd Podcast, baby.
Yep. Sloan, our producer for tonight. Shout out to you, sir. You did a phenomenal job producing the show. It's almost like you do this. So give them some shout outs, player.
A shout out for Wyatt, Vashmir, and Resolve for coming out and coming onto the podcast. I just enjoyed really much hearing y'all guys' ideas. You know, I just thank you for giving me the opportunity for interviewing y'all. I read a lot of y'all. I read y'all's books, and I read Wyatt when I was in not middle school, like late high school, and I just finally glad to like actually get a chance to talk to him so much. And I thank Vashmir for making Pepper Piper because I love me urban fantasy, and I thank Revolve for making Super Dangerous so much. So just shout out to y'all.
Appreciate it.
Sure. All right. I just remember Fame about to say something. Go ahead, Fame.
No, W, and what was the IG again? Because I want to make sure. I've asked you already. Go ahead.
It's a WHYTMANGA.
Did you find it?
WHYTMG.
MANGA, manga.
There you go, right there.
All right.
All right. When I following you.
So first thing I want to say before we get out of here is Sloan, I had to hit the collab button for the intro on Instagram because I work very hard on that and I want it to be on your page. So make sure you hit that collab button. All right, that's number one. Number two, shout out to the guests, man. Like I just said before, I appreciate y'all for coming in. Big shout out to Jalen, man. Happy Mother's Day once again. You know we love you. We appreciate you. And you know what I'm saying, being a good mom is not an easy job for sure. Because especially
and a great teacher.
And a great teacher. Well, I don't know. I ain't seen none of your kids graduate, so I don't know how good of a teacher.
Still got a job.
Look,
got a job.
Look, I mean,
I ain't proud of you yet.
I haven't been teaching long enough for any of my kids to graduate yet. So
that's true.
They're in elementary school. Well, some of them are in middle.
Yeah, that's a fact. But yeah, I know your sons are good people, man. Like I met your kids, so I know you're a good mom in that way. So anyway, shout out to our other mom, Fame. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. Happy Mother's Day. And you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Sloan, for killing it.
I gotta do my cyborg grandma. Okay.
Yeah, that's a fact. Hey, and make sure if y'all haven't done so, tap in on the Patreon. Also, tap in for Baldur's Gate 3 session 31. I don't even know where we at right now, but I know we whipped a lot of ass last week.
We're
we
on
had
Act 3, running around, just trying to level up before we go die and can't beat the game and get stuck. So, yeah,
for sure. And yo, when is y'all Saturday AM game coming out? Do y'all have a perspective like release date for that? Because we definitely want to live stream playing it.
The game is probably gonna come out early next year, but a demo would be out a few months from now, maybe 1 or 2. Just stay tuned for that. It'll be not too long for.
Well, make sure it's keep us in mind. So don't let it go under our radar.
Yeah, is it a PvP or is it going to be just one player?
So 2v2 rollback netcode starting with 14 characters within the Saturday AM world, but there'll be DLCs, potentially characters from other things outside of Saturday AM, motion inputs, just a blast, you know. There's story mode, all that fun stuff, voice acting. We've announced some voice actors already, and Alejandro Saab is voicing Sano, and Neris is voicing Cass from Clock Striker. and there are a couple other ones that we've not announced yet, because we've actually not announced or shown all the characters that are in the game yet. We've only talked about 5 really, because we talked about one just a couple days ago. And as time goes on, we'll be revealing more and more. You guys just wish list on Steam, but a demo is coming very soon.
Are we going to announce that I'm one of the voice actors? Hey, I'm giving them fame. I'm eligible to be a voice actor.
Okay. All right. That was great. All right. Any other pimping y'all want to do of yourselves while we live on air, or should we shut down till next time? All right. All right. All righty then. We'll check y'all next week. Black Nerd Podcast.
This that Black Nerd Podcast. Turn it up, let it ride, don't pass. Every Sunday, 6 p.m. we blast. Talking games, talking screens, talking tech upgrades fast. It's that Black Nerd Podcast. All your worlds in the crew broadcast. Got the vibes and the jokes all fast. Lock in, tap in, tap back. Fame in the mix when the mics come on. Jalen, keep it real, keep the coach strong. Sloan Tempest, bring the storm to the show. JS1.